The Pan-Niger Delta Forum, PANDEF, has rejected President Bola Tinubu's decision on the Ministry of Niger Delta. PANDEF, led by elder statesman Pa Edwin Clark, said the ministry was dissolved without due consideration to those specific circumstances that led to its creation. Likewise, Niger Delta leader and activist Asari Dokubo, who last year urged President Bola Tinubu to scrap the Niger Delta Development Commission (Nddc) and return the former Oil Minerals Producing Areas Development Commission (OMPADEC), is also not happy with the decision of the president. Meanwhile, the Minister of Regional Development, Abubakar Momo, has clarified the status of the Niger Delta Development Commission, NDDC, saying the agency will continue to function as an independent structure within the Federal Ministry of Regional Development. Momo said that the Federal Executive Council only changed the nomenclature of the erstwhile Federal Ministry of Niger Delta Development to accommodate all newly created regional commissions as established by the laws of the National Assembly. Joining us now on the morning show is Mujahid Abubakar Dokubo Asari, former President, Ijaw Youth Council Worldwide. He will also comment on the political crisis in Rivers State. Good morning, Mr. Asari Dokubo, and welcome to the morning show.
Good morning.
Well, Asari Dokubo, thank you very much for joining us on the morning show. Quickly, what are your thoughts about the decision of the federal government to subsume the former Ministry of Niger Delta under a new creation called the Ministry of Regional Development? Do you think that will serve the purpose of the people of the Niger Delta? And do you think, it will provide the federal government an opportunity for proper coordination and creating a sense of belonging among the various regions?
It is sad that this decision is taken in a government led by President Ahmed Bola Tinubu, who was in the trenches with most of us during the struggle for restoration of democracy after the overthrow of the government of the winner of June 12 election, MKO Abiola. We fought together, we fought tirelessly. A lot of people lost their lives. And President Ahmed Bola Tinubu was in the forefront of this struggle. And since then, President Ahmed Bola Tinubu had been speaking on restructuring of the Nigerian state, returning Nigeria to its federal status, and giving right to all the component units of Nigeria. Now, let us come to this decision. This decision is a betrayal of the people of the Niger Delta. Total betrayal. There has been this culture in Nigeria of trying to substitute the people of the Niger Delta, robbing us of our gains. Before independence, the Jaws and the Ogonis made it very clear that for us to be part of Nigeria, Nigeria must be negotiated on our own terms. We made it very clear to the British. And the British set up the Wilkin Commission to look into the fears of the so-called minorities and allay their fears. Having gone around the country, not just the Ijaw and Ogoni territory, the government, the British government, for us to be part of an independent Nigeria, set up a commission under Sir Wilkins, the Wilkin Commission. The Wilkin Commission came up with establishing a special area for the people of Ogoni and the people of Ijaw. And this special area was established. The federal government was to the government at the center was to provide 5%. The eastern region was to provide 5%. And the western region was to provide 5%. And this was a special area What happened after the brouhaha of the coup and everything? After the declaration of Nigeria as a unitary state under Decree 32 promulgated by Ironsi, Nigeria, they looked at our face, abolished a constitutional established authority, and in its place, every drainage outside the Niger Delta was made a river basin authority. Every drainage, Rima drainage, Owema drainage, all sorts of drainages were made development or whatever they call them, basin authorities, and they equated this same authority with the Niger Delta area authority, a special mandate area for Nigeria to become independent. The independence of Nigeria predicated on that report that we, the Ogonis and the Jaws, should be part of Nigeria. Having done that, they did that. Today, Obasanjo came in 1999 and he redefined what Niger Delta is. Niger Delta became UNPADEG, oil producing areas. So Abia became Niger Delta. Imo became Niger Delta. Edo became Niger Delta. Ondo became Niger Delta. Akwa Ibom became Niger Delta. Cross River became Niger Delta. It diluted the meaning of Niger Delta. Niger Delta is created by the River Niger and its tributaries. The tributaries of River Niger is simple.
Okay.
Nigerians always look for something that does not exist in reality. Nigeria talk of real federation. What is real federation? Federation is federation. There is no counter to federation.
Asari Dokubo.
Nigeria is a crude, primitive unitary state.
Asari Dokubo, we seem to have an issue with the audio connection with you out there. But, you know, let's take this. Our guest is still former president of the Ijaw Youth Council Worldwide, Mujahid Abubakar Dokubo Asari. Thank you very much, Asari Dokubo, for staying with us. I mean, it was getting interesting, but we had issues with our audio connection with you. So if you may just continue from where we left it off, and if you could quickly, you know, talk about this, your issue with President Tinubu. Now that you say President Tinubu has disappointed you, you worked for him, you supported him. He has disappointed you with the ministry. He has disappointed you also with some other things. If you could also take that along as we try to manage time.
I want to say that the opposition to decision to scrap the Niger Delta ministry have nothing to do with my personal relationship with President Ahmed Bola Tinubu. I am just an individual. My personal relationship with Dr. Alhaji Ahmed Bola Tinubu is personal. I am a representative of my people. I was chosen and elected by my people to lead them based on a broad-based grassroots movement, the Ijaw Youth Council. Having said that, like I said before, we were in the trenches with Ahmed Bola Tinubu, and he's the least person we expect to have taken this decision. This ministry came into being on the blood and sweat of the people of the Ijaw Nation. I was incarcerated in 2005, and the struggle started, the agitation started soon after the former governor of Bayelsa State, Alamesia, was also incarcerated. Oil production came down to 700,000 barrels. And in order to assuage, in order to placate the Ijaw people, Yar'Adua started with a 7-point agenda. And One of these 7-point agenda was the issue of the Niger Delta. And the Niger Delta Ministry was created by President Yaradua. Now, like I was saying, I don't know whether you got me, the people of Ogoni and Ijaw said if for us to be part of an independent Nigeria, the issue of underdevelopment of these two nationalities must be addressed. And at that time, oil was discovered mostly in the territories of these two nationalities. And the government, the British colonial government set up the Wilkin Commission, which recommended a special area. And they set up the Niger Delta Development Authority. 5% from the federal government to contribute, Eastern region 5% and the Western region 5%. And the government of Tafawa Balewa adhered to its contribution of 5%, the Eastern region and the Western region, like what is happening today, refused to contribute. Now, after the brouhaha of the civil war that took place, they proceeded to create what they call river basin for every gutter, every drainage found in other part of the country, and they gave them all fanciful names. They converted this special area, which was in the constitution of constitutional dimension, an authority that was embedded in the constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. They now changed it and equated it with this so-called river basin they have created. Now, they totally destroy the character and nature of the Niger Delta Development Authority.
All right. All right.
Yaradua came into power and decided Niger Delta Ministry. When General Olusegun Obasanjo was in power, he promulgated through military fiat the Land Use Act and confiscated the land of our people and our resources. After doing that, on his second coming, he came.
All right.
And then created a Niger Delta in his head that does not exist, that is not in tandem with reality. Niger Delta is supposed to be the tributaries that empties into the wetland created by the tributaries that emptied into the Atlantic Ocean.
All right. Okay.
He created the Niger Delta where he brought Imo, he brought Abia, he brought Ondo, he brought Edo, he brought Akwa Ibom, he brought Cross River.
All right, Mr. Dokubo, let me come in here, please. All right, Mr. Dokubo, let me come in here. I'm so sorry because I know you have a lot to get off your chest, but unfortunately our time is limited. Some of the issues you've cited are some of perhaps the conversation around the effectiveness or a reorganization required for the NDDC. The makeup of the NDDC, like you said, there are some states in there that would also fall under the Southeast Development Commission, which is under review. We also look at perhaps the reason why this regional Ministry for Regional Development is created in such a way as to ensure that we don't duplicate efforts. You know, we're going to have the Northeast Development Commission and the likes. What do you have to say about that? I say this because perhaps this is a move to make it more efficient and move away from what we currently have. Don't forget, the NDDC, the Niger Delta Development Commission, will still come under the Ministry for Regional Development.
We are talking of law. We are not talking of effectiveness. The wishes and caprices of a leader does not amount to the law of the country. NDDC was created by law. It was not created by wishes and caprices of a leader that when I decide a thing, it becomes law.
But laws can be amended.
Who decide what is effective?
Mr. Asari Dokubo, laws can be amended.
Effectiveness is because the law had not been amended.
They can be.
As we speak, the law had not been amended. So what we are talking about, who decide what is effective? Everything about Nigeria is inefficient because of corruption, because of wanton corruption. There is corruption everywhere. So that is corruption. All institutions are affected by constitution, are affected by corruption. So nobody would say that it is always the Niger Delta that is not efficient. What we are saying, you yourself had said, I called for the scrapping of Nddc last year when I said they should scrap Nddc and return Umpadec, which was the right nomenclature for that body called Nddc. And then create a special authority as it was before for the Niger Delta. Having said that, they have created Southeast Development Commission, Northeast Development Commission, whatever development commission. Where is the money going to come from? The money of the Icho, Ogoni, Ishekri, Orobo people, and Igbo people. They tell us that oil is no longer important in the world, but it is our oil money they are using. You know, they want to make you look, feel inferior, look little. But each time they try this, they expose themselves. What we are saying, who decide what is efficient? What is efficient in Nigeria?
Mr. Dokubo.
Is our railway efficient?
Very quickly, so Bimba will ask the next question. You enjoyed, at least prior, and you admitted it yourself, that working for President Bola Ahmed Tinubu to get him into office, you enjoyed quite a cordial relationship with him. In fact, you composed a number of songs in solidarity with him. Were you consulted? Have you had the opportunity to... Yes, yes, so you were singing yes, in support of him. Were you consulted? Have you had the opportunity to speak to him, or has the line of communication totally broken down between you and the president?
I supported Mr. President because I knew him before he became senator. I knew him before he became governor. I knew him before he became president. And God willing, if we're alive, I will also know him when he ceases to be president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. But what I'm trying to say, this is not about me. This is not about an individual called Alhaji Mujahid Dokbo and Ahmed Bola Tinubu. It is about my people. And when I'm speaking about my people, take me out of the way. I'm an individual. My relationship with President Ahmed Bola Tinubu was very robust. And at all times, the benefit I derived from that relationship was one-way traffic, was from Ahmed Bola Tinubu alone. His coming out for presidency was the only time I was able to pay him back. And I did. And even if he comes out tomorrow, I will still do it. Because at the time, General Olusegun Obasanjo buried me alive. He stood by me. And I'm not going to be in a hurry to forget that. But that is personal between both of us. You talk about the line of communication. See, there's an Islamic preacher, Sheikh Kishke. He said, when somebody becomes an emperor, an emir, a sultan, Satan becomes his best friend and advisor. Because Satan will always be there whispering to his ears. Was Jesus not carried to the pinnacle by Satan?
Okay,
and offered the whole world that jumped down. I will give you everything.
Thank you for that. Thank you for that. Now, we've understood you. We understand you're also saying that this conversation is not personal. But a lot of people would disagree because you've made statements such as that if President Bola Tinubu fails, we should hold you responsible. So my question is, should your people...
I stand by that statement.
So should the Ijaw people, the Ogoni people, the people of Niger Delta, should they hold you responsible for the fact that their ministry has now been scrapped.
I stand by that statement.
Yes, so should the Niger Delta people hold you are you taking responsibility for the Niger Delta ministry being scrapped, since you said you would be taking responsibility?
That is why I am crying out. That is why I am crying out, because I am vigorously liable to any infraction of the exploitation of the Nigerian people, not just Niger Delta people. Because I stood in front of everybody. And I'm not going to deny what I said. Even if it is tomorrow, Ahmed Bola Tinubu encounters any problem, difficulty, I will still stick out my neck and stand. Because at the time he stood for me, I would have been dead. I would not have been in this program talking to you. Obasanjo would have killed me. If not for people like Ahmed Bola Tinubu, who stood by me and did everything for me.
Well, Asari Dokubo.
So I am not going to be in a hurry. I am not going to be in a hurry to forget that.
Asari Dokubo, will you say that President Bola Ahmed Tinubu...
I'm with you.
Will you say President Bola Ahmed Tinubu is succeeding or failing as president, given the reality in the country today? And to still go back to your matter with him, you said you emptied your bank account, you spent a lot of money, and Tinubu is there in Abuja. You are not benefiting anything. So what would you like to benefit from him? Now that you helped him, you supported him, and he's there. He has forgotten people who supported him.
To my broadcast, if you had listened to my broadcast in full, I met President Ahmed Bola Tinubu. I met him, both in camera and behind camera. And he asked me, are you interested in pipeline? He will be listening now. And I told him, I'm not interested in pipeline contract. He's alive. I told him, I am not interested. But I can assist those who are doing the pipeline contract in any way I can for your government to succeed. But I'm not interested. So I never said that it was personal gain I was looking for. I clearly said in all my broadcasts that my needs are very small. My needs are very small. So what I'm trying to say, and it's very clear, President Ahmed Bola Tinubu becoming president, I should be able to tell him the truth. And what is happening in Rivers State, where President Ahmed Bola Tinubu is supporting Nyesom Wike to destabilize Rivers State, to disturb the peace of Rivers State. And as a stakeholder in Rivers State, I feel disappointed, totally disappointed, for the president to allow his minister serving under him to run amok, procure judgments, and all sorts, threatening the people of Rivers State, because what they are trying to do is, we are going to remove FOBRA and nothing will happen. And I'm saying that if you remove FOBRA, something will happen. If you try to remove FOBRA, something will happen. And that is it. That is what I'm talking about. I'm not talking of any personal benefit. I cannot be appointed minister. I cannot be appointed into any board. I did not lobby for any board. I did not lobby for anything. So, it's not personal, like I said. Yes, I emptied my bank account. I spent over $2 million US. I cannot even count in Naira what I spent. And I did not take a dime from him or anybody except 10 jackeries who gave me 300 million Naira.
All right. Okay.
Well.
All right. We have to go now, unfortunately. But I mean, it would have been great to interrogate your statement around working with the North for 2027, and you coming out to say that from now on you're not working with the president anymore. So I just want to assume that the relationship with you and the president in the past, you're not taking it forward from today. So from now on, are you stating that you are now moving to the other side because you are no longer in support of just one statement? Just one statement that you are no longer in support of President Bola.
I think you are misquoting me.
Okay.
I think you are misquoting me.
Okay, please then.
What I said was very clear, that our fathers worked with the North, and I was in the forefront fighting against our fathers, Melford Okilo, Harold Dababria, and so on. And from what Obasanjo had done, and Ahmed Bola Tinubu have done, we, the younger generation, we go back and align with the North, because that is where Bayelsa was created by Abacha, Tafawa Balewa put in place Niger Delta Development Authority, and so on and so forth. And for us,
okay,
I think our relationship with the North is far better than our relationship with any other people.
All right. Well, thank you very much for your time today. I mean, I'm sure this conversation is still ongoing, but we thank you for your time this morning.